Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey. It's Monday afternoon, so that's our traditional time to do a Facebook Live. If you're here, you can give me a thumbs up. If you're watching on replay, I would love to hear from you. I always like to hear what's going on in the stamping world or what's going on in your life. So it's always fun to kind of chat, virtual chat. Isn't that what it is? I guess. So today we're going to make a card we haven't made for a while, but I wanted to share some things with you first. Tomorrow there will be some new online exclusives. We've gotten to see 2 of them, I think, but there's more than the ones we've gotten to see. There's one that will work great for friends and Father's Day, one that has some really nice large watercolor sentiments, and there's probably something else that I can't remember. But this one is going to be one of the online exclusive, and it's called Fluffiest Friends. Isn't that cute? These little animals. I think this is maybe a gerbil or a hamster, a beaver, a bird, a rabbit, a cat, and a honey bear, and of course some little bees and things to go along with it. And then this one I love, Garden Meadow. You'll be able to build some scenery, make some gardening kind of cards, friendship cards. Like that wheelbarrow is so cute. And it has matching dies. Now you might have seen the cards I made where I used this die. It doesn't necessarily go with the stamped images, but it goes really well with this paper. And this is the coordinating DSP that goes with the Garden Meadow, and it is called Meandering Meadows. You get 4 of each design. Lots of beautiful floral landscape images, and then the backs are going to be subtle designs. Now, they showed us how this artist created these. She actually painted these on canvas, little bitty miniature canvas, and then when she was happy with them, then they took the image and turned it into the DSP. And I believe they said that this was chalk, but I might have made that up. I can't remember. It might have been watercolor or some other kind of paint. So isn't that one beautiful? Like little bluebells, something bright and yellow, cheery, little path, and the mountains. Not pretty. This looks like iris, kind of maybe tulips, some daisies, just some wildflowers. Look at those clouds. Aren't those pretty? This is beautiful here. Another little pathway. This almost looks like it's going down towards a river. I think we saw this path before. I might have accidentally pulled several. And then we're going to use this one today, and that's part of this stack of paper. I mean, the paper does everything for you. You don't have to just have this paper, add some beautiful sentiments, and you're good to go. But we're going to dress it up a little bit. So we're going to make, let me put all these extras away that I don't need. We're going to make a screen divider card. Now, usually when I make those, it's because the paper has an Asian look to it, or an Asian theme. But when I saw this paper, I thought, well, I think we can make a screen divider and it will just be elegant. So we're going to try that. We're going to need our paper trimmer. And I'm going to pull out the purple, the grape, and the yellow from this paper. Because if I went with green, I think that would be too dark. So this is 5.5 by 11. And we're going to do some scoring to give that like accordion fold. 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4. Now we're going to want to score this. We'll put this up for a minute. We'll get it back out when we cut our designer series paper. Because we do have some other things we have to do with this paper. So now we have a screen, a room divider screen, and we're ready to go. I usually, I always use a punch to make the legs for the screen, and sometimes I have used a die. It takes a little longer. So I went ahead and punched just a template of what I want my legs to look like. And this is the new modern oval punch. Now there's all kinds of punches you could use, but I wanted this one fairly simple and not too many details in it. But any of those label punches that you have will work fine for this. So because I want them all the same, I made this little pattern for us. Hi, Rosalind. Thanks for joining. Hi, Karen. You popped in too. And we're going to put a pencil line there, just to help us know where to punch. Now, I have been known to take a marker and put it on, mark the punch with just a mark, but I thought we'd try it this way today. You can write on your markers and then rub it off, or use, if you use a permanent marker, you just get some fingernail polish remover and it will take any marks off that you've put on there. So see, I could have put, there's not a whole lot of room here though, I could have put 2 little marks there, but there's not quite as much room as some of our punches. So now we'll punch our legs. Now, you might be strong enough to punch 2 at a time, but my hands don't. And I don't like to, I don't want to mess up my punch, so 1 at a time works just as good. Now you see we have some very classic legs here today. Nothing fancy or frilly. No Queen Anne. one in the middle is a little wider, but nobody's going to worry about that. I'm not. And we'll erase our pencil marks. So depending on the punch you use, your measurement lengthwise might be different than mine. So, but you can just, you know, fiddle with that as need be. So I wanted my mat to be yellow, and it is 2.5 by 4 3/4. So 2.5 will always be the measurement for that if you have a mat or a frame, but the length might be different for yours. And now we need to cut our paper to go on there. So that's why we need the trimmer again. And we're going to make this be 4 5/8. I always have to count those little tick marks. And then 2 3/8. And that gives us 2 panels. We need one more. No, we'll go ahead and do 2. So this is 4 3/4. No, 4 5/8. That's and then 2 3/8. And 2 3/8. Now we'll save this for these side pieces for something else. And I don't know, you might well, of course you can use the back side of this for something. This is a pretty quick card too. Once you do all the scoring and the cutting, the paper does all the hard work for you. So we'll go ahead and lay out our mats. And this, you kind of see that water there, I think is what that looks like to me. A little bitty pond. Does this kind of remind you of Monet's Gardens? A little bit. I love to see Monet's Gardens. We've been 2 or 3 times, and then in the fall we'll be going back for another visit. So we've seen them in several different seasons. It'll be fun to see what they look like in the fall. Guess you need a bridge for it to be a true Monet picture. I don't think every single one of these scenes on this paper would work for divider card, but several of them would. That pretty pink one, I think, would absolutely be great. And I'll share another one with you before we finish. So we're ready to get those on there. You know I am a sucker for any kind of card that works standing up. I love for people to be able to see their cards standing on the shelf or the mantle, bedside table. And this is one, gosh, you could keep it up all the time, because it's so pretty. When I was looking at doing this morning, I was wondering if the horse and sleigh DSP would work for a Christmas divider card. I've never tried that. Oh, I bet that autumn leaves one, if the ones that are the woods, would definitely work. All right, so now we need a sentiment, and I'm going to use the one that goes with this set. It's called Thinking of You, and I thought it was just about right, and we'll do it with the Gorgeous Grape, as I inked it up there. And then I looked for a simple die that would cut this out, and I pulled this little rectangle from the mini pocket envelope. And I want this to have a little blank space there because we're going to stamp that daisy. Just trying to think of the word there. Or cornflower, it might be a... These look kind of like daisies, brown-eyed Susans, black-eyed Susans. Our son used to call them brown-eyed Susans because he had a friend named Susan with brown eyes. But there's some kind of daisy-looking plant. And I thought, well, gosh, you know, that one from Sending Smiles will work just fine. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do a little ink, marking our stamp with markers. So we're going to ink it up with Lemon Lolly. But then I've got Pumpkin Pie. Do you see how this has some orange in it? So we're going to take our water marker. You cannot do this with blends. And we're just going to add just a little bit of pumpkin pie. And hope that doesn't look weird. I think that looks great. And then we'll add our center piece, and I'm going to use Pebbled Path. Not too dark, but a little darkness. I think that looks really cute there. Now we can put that on with some dimensionals. Well, hello, Polly. Thanks for joining us today. Well, hey, Edie Lee. Robert says you're watching. Hope you are. Now, I thought I had, well, I did have my Daffodil Delight blends out, and I must have put it away, so I need to go get it. Because we want a little bow on here, and guess we do not have any yellow ribbon or twine. So I've got white baker's twine. So we're going to color it with our blends. And that's easy to do. This is the end of this roll. So I'm going to have to get some more. Let's see, I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper here. And we're going to just color our baker's twine. This is an old Daffodil Delight, so it's great. I'm not damaging the tip because the tip is already worn out. But I save them for this reason, because you can color your ribbon the same way. There's having to pull here, aren't I? You can also just drag this across your ink pad if you don't have the color you're looking for. There's all kinds of ways to color twine and ribbon. Use your re-inkers. Now we have the right kind of baker's twine. We'll give that a second to dry. Get rid of this. And now we can use our bow maker. Make a cute little bow. Probably have ink on my fingers. And now we can trim that off. There's our cute yellow bow. I could have used crushed curry or lemon lolly, but I think that works fine. So now we need a glue dot. Put that right up there. Oh, you know what? It's still wet, so the glue dot doesn't want to stick. I'm going to pull that off, and we're going to let this get dry for a minute. See if we can't get it to stick. This bundle did come, or had in it, brushed birds and dragonflies, and those are gone. Everybody must have loved them. But I thought, well, we can use our brushed butterflies. There's nothing wrong with that. There's always a workaround, so we're going to add some butterflies on here. We'll add a couple. Butterflies like flowers, don't they? We'll let some land on the flower. And let's see if we can get another one right about there. I blow on that, see if it'll stick better. Let's get, you do need to let that dry, but since it's alcohol, it should dry pretty quickly. We'll try that again. There, isn't that cute? Now, of course, we need a place to sign it. So we've got just one for the back. And we can add another coneflower, daisy, whatever we want to call it. So we're going to do it the same trick. We're going to use the stem. We're going to ink it up with Old Olive, and I think that's kind of shaded spruce right there. So we'll pull out the shaded spruce marker to give our daisy a little sketchier look on the leaves. Hope that doesn't look like polka dots. Oh no, that came out very pretty. Now we've got room up here now for our sentiment. I mean, to write our message. We don't want to block that out. And we'll do this again. So we'll ink up the larger daisy and get some pumpkin pie. Any yellow, light yellow that you have will work for this. But, you know, I've been begging, dreaming of a pretty yellow for years. And Lemon Lolly was my wish, you know. It works just fine. Well, that came out pretty, didn't it? Totally different. I like it. So we need our little half one here. I don't know. Yeah, it'll show there. That's funny how that came out so many different shades. That's the joy of stamping. Now, tell me, do you like the stand-up cards, or what's your favorite? Do you like cards that people can admire? I do. And, of course, I always like a little bit of a fun fold. And this one's certainly not a hard fun fold. It's very easy. Now we've got a place for our message. And we've got our stand-up card. Room divider card. I think that's so cute. The butterflies don't show off real well until you turn it and the light hits it, but there they are. So I made another one because, of course, I had to practice. And I used this piece that looked like the bluebells or bluebonnets. And I put the message part on the front. Do you recognize this? This is the Quiet Meadow. And I just used the trick Leanne taught us to die cut it, put it back in the slot, and then use your blends to make the flower. But I thought, when I saw that, I thought, well, that's the flower we need to use on that one. I haven't added any butterflies to this one yet. But then on the back, I used a little scrap of the paper for writing your message. I love them both. I think they both came out cute. And like I said, I think, let's see, the one that has that pretty, oh, I think this one would be so pretty. Cut that into panels and have, maybe use, I don't know what kind of sweet sorbet and petal pink. Let's see. The paper, the suggestions on the paper is just about every color we own. I thought I had the paper here, but it's like balmy blue, it's blueberry bushel, all kinds of colors, but I guess I did not pick that up. I think that looks more like sweet sorbet and not melon mambo, but I would have to double check. So this was quick, 30 minutes. We've got a card, which I think is great. That's about all the time I have these days to get cards done. So thanks for popping in and watching today, and I hope you'll watch again next time we go live. Let me know if there's anything in particular you have questions about. Bye.